Hey there, neighbors and naysayers. June 23rd, 2024. It may not look like it, but it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm just moving cows on a slice of switchgrass. I talked earlier about how we're just kind of strip grazing across this. Now there's a back fence back there a ways, and we keep moving it up every once in a while. Basically, when we get to another water point, or get within 100 feet of another water point, and we put a back fence up. They're probably getting 30-40 feet maybe of it, and I just wanted to watch how they just kind of go out through this. So this is, I believe, yeah, that's switchgrass. But if you look out, pan out, look how brown and dead everything else is. This is the one thing that's kind of surviving. Now it doesn't hurt that this field is one of our tiled fields. It has drain, and this one actually has systematic tile in it, where the rest of them just kind of have random tile in them. But it's kind of lays wet anyway. This is what we call the flat. Now it's still 6% slope, but it's kind of sub-irrigated, has some water in it anyhow. But this time of year, there's no water here, and it's just amazing how much that switchgrass grows. So we have, especially in this weather, we have been doing some calculations here the last couple days. Maybe we ought to be better off to take some other fields. This was the one that we really said was good for switchgrass because it lays wet in the winter, and we don't really want to graze it stockpile. Knowing that if we put it in the switchgrass, we wouldn't have stockpiled grass on this, although that's a little bit of a mistruth because there's a lot of fescue in it. And we do graze it a couple times through the winter. We'll roll the cows across it just to kind of clean up that fescue. You really want to beat the tar out of the fescue once the switchgrass is frosted, and that way the switchgrass has kind of more of an open area to grow into. And then we really hit it hard in the spring too. This will probably be where we bale graze at the last in April, because you want to graze that cool season pretty hard to give the warm season a chance. And I guess that's the biggest thing about it, is I was so afraid of hurting it, so afraid of doing the wrong thing. And really, I can't hurt it that bad grazing the way that we do. You know, we leave 8 inches of residue on this, which is a little more than we leave other places, but that's not hard because it's woody down in there, and they're not going to graze down that close anyway, so that's okay. What I calculated yesterday, I think somewhere around 10 more acres of 100 could go into switchgrass, and it would help in situations like this. We're in such a weird microclimate here where rain goes south of us, rain goes north of us, and we don't get it. I mean, it's been the last 3, 4, 5 years it kind of happens that way. We're expecting rain here at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. I'm going to Ray K here, try to get ahead of Dad so he can bail behind me and get it done before 11. We didn't have any dew last night, so nothing's wet. Might as well go ahead and get it rolled up. It's just going to get wetter. We hope we get the rain. I guess the other thing to discuss while we're out here is clipping. This is the wrong field to be standing in to talk about clipping, because we don't clip it. Obviously, there's a big Montflower Rose plant out there. There's a couple more out there. We'll clip this once every 3, 4, 5 years. That's about it. But look at how well they graze it, other than maybe that big bush right there. The rest of it, where there's little Montflower Rose, they kind of graze it off anyway, so I don't worry about it. I am hearing a lot of things about clip. Well, we got clip for seed heads. We got to clip because we're going to get pink eye. And these cows are on Redmond salt, kelp, Redmond conditioner, just a scoop or two in with half and half salt and kelp meal. And yeah, we got some eyes that are kind of watery, but they look fine. They're not cloudy. They're not pink eye. They've had seed heads in their eyes, or seed in their eyes. There's a difference there. I ran across a fellow yesterday that, well, I like to go out there and clip those seed heads off. Well, if you look out across this field, the seed heads are ranging anywhere from 1 foot tall to 3 feet tall. So what are you going to do? You're going to clip off in a drought time like this? We're going to clip off good forage, worried about having pink eye in a cow? And to me, that just exposes a point stem that sticks up that now that cow's going to poke its eye trying to get to the grass below. It's just, this is all my ideas. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying we mineralize the cows good enough that I don't worry about pink eye. We get a case or two of it maybe. I used to be able to say we never did, but this dumb Hereford cow right here proves me wrong all the time. She kind of gets it. It goes away. I never seen that she gets full on pink eye, but she gets it bad enough that I'm like, oh well, I can't say that we don't get pink eye, but and she needs to go because her calf does the same thing. So we need to worry about keeping calves out of cows that don't get it, and worry about getting the cows mineralized enough that we don't have to worry about it. These gray cows, you know, I'm a Hereford man, tried and true. Murray Gray is probably my second favorite, and getting closer and closer because I never have to worry about them gray cows getting anything like that. And don't say it's because they're white face. I don't think it makes a difference. I think it's just what was bred and who was bred and what the hot bull was at some point and where every cow goes back to. I think that makes more of a difference than it does anything else. Yeah, hopefully we're gonna get some rain. It sure feels like rain blowing in here, and everything as I built fence yesterday was just hot and crispy and dry, and clover was like shattering ahead of me, and I can't hardly get posts in the ground. This is the one field I love to come build fence because I can get posts in the ground. Everywhere else it's pretty rough. So with that, anyway, wanted to show the switchgrass. And if you ever thought about it, I mean, it takes some work. It takes, if you're allergic to sprays, and it takes tillage. I would plant a cover crop 2 or 3 times probably before I'd plant switchgrass, especially if I was tillage only. If I was, and it would have to be thick herbicide. You know, nobody likes to use it, but it's a quick way to get it into switchgrass. And I look at it this way: yeah, am I hurting the soil health up front? Sure, I would be, but in the long run, I'm going to turn, and this is with tillage or herbicide, either one. We're hurting the soil health in the short term, but in the long term, we're going to put this in the long-term switchgrass, a long-term prairie setting, and then every once in a while we frost seed prairie flowers and wildflower mixes and other things into this field. We're going to long-term improve the diversity and improve the soil health. So we kind of have to look at that. How can we poo-poo the idea of changing over to something different if we're going to long-term improve the soil health here? And you know, this could be a switchgrass for the rest of my life, the rest of my kids' life, if we manage it correctly and let it go to seed. It's probably not going to go to seed this year, but in some years we have enough forage that we can just let this whole thing go to seed and drop seed, and then we get switchgrass from the new seeding. So with that, I'll say we'll see you next time.